Hi YouTube, my name is Heather and I love anti-MLM content here on YouTube. Today I'm super excited for us to watch a training video from past top Beachbody coach Melanie Mitro, where she's teaching us to stop trying to validate our excuses for not having success in our business. I'm really excited to get started, and as always, please let me know what you think about this topic down below.
Hey there, friends. All right, happy Tuesday. Yes, I am like wrapped up in a blanket scarf because while the sun is shining and I don't even think it's that cold out there, I am always cold. So I am coming to you with your training tip of the day today. I'm just going to call it Business Tip Tuesday because I usually do this on my Melanie Mitro page, but I'm doing it over here today. So let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Hello. All right. So let's talk. Let's keep this conversation going. Did you guys see on my Instagram feed last night where I talked about time management and I talked about time blocking with all of you, right? And I showed you, like I talked a little bit about my Google Calendar. That's what I use. Everybody asks me about planners. I just really don't have a planner that I love right now, which means that I should probably create my own planner, right? That probably would be a good game plan for me. I should put that on the to-do list. But right now,
So, do you think the average Beachbody coach sits there and thinks, I don't have a planner I love, so I'm going to make my own planner? I think the majority of coaches aren't going to have the money to do an undertaking like that. And the fact that she's just so nonchalant, oh, I'm going to add making my own planner on my to-do list because she has the financial resources to do so. She has the support to do so because of being on the top of the company multiple years in a row. She can do that while the vast majority of coaches can't.
for me, I love my Google Calendar. Now, before I get into that, my business tip of the day is that one of the biggest things that irk me, and I'm trying to think about like what's the right way to say this without offending people.
Melanie, I feel like if you have to sit there and say, oh, how do I say this without offending people? You probably know that you're going to be offensive and hurt someone's feelings. Beachbody coaches tend to say things like, oh, do I have your permission to be brutally honest? Do I have your permission to treat you as a business owner instead of as a friend? And then when these top coaches say that, they always say something offensive and rude and belittling afterwards. So if you feel like you have to say that, there's probably a reason.
Because I'm sure I'm going to offend somebody because it's just one of those topics, right? So when I make these posts on my Instagram, on my Facebook, and I'm giving business advice, right? And I'm talking, or even fitness advice, and I'm talking about my mindset, and I'm talking about the ways that I plan out my business or sacrifices that I've made or choices I've made to get to where I want to be. The first thing that people start to comment underneath of my stuff is like, gosh, I wish I was successful, or I'm not far enough along in the business, or I don't have spouse support, or I work full time and I have 4 kids, or I wish I could be as successful as you, or I should hire a cleaning lady, but I feel like I should do it all.
Those are all really valid things to comment under a post of the top Beachbody coach. There's a lot of reasons why someone might not find financial success in Beachbody, like work full time, have a ton of kids that I have to take care of all the time. I just started, so I don't have the same level of success as Melanie Mitchell, and it's a totally reasonable thing to say is that I wish I could be as successful as you, Melanie Mitchell, because we've talked about this before with all of the top coaches. Excuse me, all the top coaches, they are paraded around on all the stages. They do all the talks for corporate, and they're made to seem to be very relatable. So, oh, I started just like you with no followers, no business experience, no this, no that, and look, I'm now at the top of the company, so you can do it too. And I think when there's that kind of narrative around the top coaches, it's only fair, only reasonable that coaches at the bottom of the company are going to compare themselves to Melanie Mitro at the top. What do you think about that?
And so I just like it's like nails on a chalkboard when people try to validate why they aren't taking advice.
It's nails on a chalkboard when people don't automatically bow down to your feet whenever you post any social media post and they don't automatically take your advice right away. And maybe there's a bit of cognitive dissonance, right? And they're saying, oh, well, she's telling me to do these things, but I've done it for the last year and I'm still in debt and I'm still not advancing in my business. So it's just funny how it's nails on a chalkboard when people just don't blindly follow her and blindly take her advice.
All right. Now, I'm not sure if that comes out right, but let me kind of give you an example. When I talk about planning out your business hours and I talk about, the importance of saying to yourself, what are the activities in my life that are not the best use of my time? For example, hiring a cleaning lady, right? Is not the best use of your time. If you work full time, if you have small children, or if you're a stay-at-home mom that is also simultaneously trying to build a successful business, there is nothing wrong with hiring a cleaning lady.
Technically, you're right. There is nothing wrong with hiring a cleaning lady, Melanie, but when not just her, but when coaches are recruiting other coaches into Beachbody, they say you can do it all. You can be present with your family, you can take care of your home and your household, and you can be a successful business owner. And then once you're there, they're telling you that you need to hire a cleaning lady, which is crazy because you just told me that I could take care of all my responsibilities while building this business. Do you see what I mean? So Beachbody coaches are told one thing to get them in the door, and then once they're in the business, they're told another thing.
Like nothing. It does not make you any less of a mother because somebody comes and cleans your house. Like, who cares, right? If that
You feel that way. You feel like it doesn't make you any less of a mother, but other people have different life experiences and are raised in different ways, and different things are important to them. And for some parents, it might be important that they clean their own home and they keep their home clean for their children. And I don't like the way that she's guilting parents who have that value of cleaning their own home and maintaining a clean environment for their children. Just like there's nothing wrong with hiring a cleaning lady, there's nothing wrong with wanting to do that work yourself. And how dare she guilt parents who have that value? Both are equally good though.
is 8 hours or 5 hours or 3 hours out of your day that you're not scrubbing toilets and you're making your family money, or better yet, you're like spending quality time with your kids. Like, that doesn't make you a bad mom.
Why can't you do both? Because you recruited me into Beachbody while saying you can be a present mother, parent, and still run your business. So why can't I do both?
That makes you smart, right? That makes you smart. So, number one, stop feeling guilty for getting help. All right. Secondly,
Stop guilting me because I want to clean my home myself.
if you're saying to yourself, I have big goals and dreams of building a successful business, but you don't want to get a babysitter for 2 hours a day or twice a week for 3 to 4 hours because you
Do you feel like the privilege is just like dripping off of her right now? Not everyone has the financial resources to hire these people, especially if you're joining Beachbody. A lot of people join these companies because they don't have money, and that vulnerability is preyed on to bring them into the business because they're promised this will be financially viable for you. Not everyone has money, Melanie, to hire all these people.
feel like it's your job to be the stay-at-home mom and you feel guilty for hiring somebody. I you're Don't you feel more guilty when you're distracted all of the time because you're trying to answer emails and you're trying to create social media posts and you're trying to conduct business and your kids are running all over the place and you can't focus on anything and you don't feel like you're a very good mom because you're trying to be a business owner and mom at the same time?
So now you're guilting women who, or parents who want to still be a stay-at-home parent while they're running their business. So first you're like, oh, don't feel guilty for hiring a babysitter. And then the same breath you're saying, oh, but feel guilty if you don't hire a babysitter and try to do this business and take care of the children by yourself, even though that's one of the ways I recruited you and brought you into the business, because I told you that you wouldn't need to send your kids to daycare and you could be at home, be a full-time stay-at-home parent, take care of your kids, take care of your house, take care of your household responsibilities, and still run this business. Has anyone ever been like a super part-time babysitter before? When I was in school, I worked like 12 hours a week approximately as a babysitter for a family. I made around $150 a week. It was good, really just part-time income. I didn't have time to work any more than that. But $150 a week, that adds up. That's like $600 a month. And people joining Beachbody, a lot of them don't have $600 extra a month to spend on a part-time babysitter. And again, this was like a really, really long time ago. And so minimum wage is higher now. It's going to be more than $600 a month, at least where I am in Canada. I know minimum wage is lower in a lot of areas in the States, but it adds up, especially for families who don't have money. So, Melanie, not everyone is as in a privileged position as you, most likely with a spouse or a partner who has a steady, well-paying job who can contribute to hiring a cleaner and hiring a babysitter.
And then you carry around this insane mom guilt, like just hire help.
You're contributing to the insane mom guilt by guilting those who want to work their business while being a stay-at-home parent at the same time.
Get a babysitter. Go to the coffee shop and work for 4 hours. Let somebody else play games and do lunch and go to the park. And then when you come back, you've done the most important activities and now you get to be mom. I don't understand why we feel guilty for that. So we have to take that hat off and say, if I want to build a business and I have business goals, I have to treat it like a business. And I can't feel guilty for wanting to work. All right. So that's kind of the second thing. I'm trying to think what the other, hiring an assistant. So many people say to me, I wish I could hire an assistant, but I don't want to take the time to train them, or it's so overwhelming to find somebody, or where I wish I could find an assistant.
Why are you rolling your eyes? Oh, it's so overwhelming. Melanie, just because it's not overwhelming for you to find an assistant doesn't mean it's not for someone else. In Beachbody and all MLMs, I feel like really high up uplines and distributors like to think that if members of their team don't react to a situation in the exact same way that they would, that it's invalid, they're negative, and they're just like not going to find success because of their really horrible toxic mindset. For some people, it may be overwhelming to find an assistant, Melanie.
Friends, come on.
Friends, come on. When I worked in a daycare a long, long time ago, and that's how I would talk to the 3-year-olds who were acting up and not listening. I'd be, friends, please listen to me. So she's being extremely condescending right now, talking to her adult viewers in the same way that I talked to my toddlers who were acting up at daycare.
There are things in your business that an assistant can do, right? Your administrative activities, absolutely. As a business owner, I said it last night, one of the biggest mistakes I made as a new business owner was that I thought I could do it all. And yes, I could do it all, but it's not the best use of my creativity. It's not what's going to produce me more income in the bottom line. And investing in my company is smart. So if you're
investing in my company is smart. Is that Beachbody? Does that mean buying more Beachbody products, or does that mean just investing in your pretend fake Beachbody business? I think she probably means investing in her fake Beachbody business.
Sitting here right now saying I want an assistant, or it would be nice to have an assistant, then what is stopping you? Make a post on your Instagram, on your Facebook, in your community forums. Get it out there anywhere you know. Post an assistant part-time, 10 hours a week, or maybe even it's less than that. And then just make a list of the activities. And when you hire somebody, you just say, hey, this is the first time I'm doing this. My business is a startup. I'm just getting started, but these are the things that I want to delegate, right? Because I want to be able to spend my time on doing the creative things that I know that are going to help me move my business forward. And guess what? We all hired assistants for the first time, not knowing what we were doing.
So far she wants us to hire a cleaning lady, probably once a week. She wants us to hire a babysitter, like 2-4 hours a day or something like that. And now she wants us to hire an assistant. That's crazy when you're in a company where the vast, vast majority of people are making no money or even going into debt. So, Melanie, where are all of these people supposed to find the money to hire these 3 employees? Where?
But we made out just fine. And you know what? it is so nice to be able to say to myself in the mornings when I wake up that certain activities are getting done and I can focus on other things. It allows me to be more productive in the most important activities. And there is no level of income that you need to be making to hire an assistant. All right.
Maybe for you, Melanie, and other people who, I already said this, have a spouse or a partner who is in a high-paying job and a stable job. If you have a spouse who's making like $100,000 a year, and yes, your spouse, your partner can contribute to the wages for all of these people that she wants you to hire, but for those who are joining Beachbody because they are financially desperate and they need money, where are these people supposed to find this money to put towards all of these people? And it's just so interesting that she's pretty much saying that you can't be successful in your Beachbody business unless you hire a cleaner, unless you hire a babysitter, unless you hire an assistant. Why can't you just be successful on your own, Melanie? You tell us that when we come in that we can be present parents while staying at home with our kids and running our business. And then once we're in the door, it's a different story. And we suddenly have to hire all of these people to be successful.
Right? So I want you to think about that. So I think the bottom line is you have to say to yourself, like, when people give you business advice, are you commenting and saying, are you giving excuses? Are you trying to validate why you haven't done the advice that somebody's asking you yet? Like, if you haven't sat down and planned out your week and your business hours and your to-do list, why? Right? So what I want you to do is think before you act. Think before you type. Think before you comment. Is what I'm about to post that?
Think before you act. Think before you talk. Again, that's how I would talk to my toddlers in daycare while teaching them how to solve their own problems with their friends, or like verbalizing their thoughts and their feelings. Again, I think she's being very, very condescending. She's saying, think before you comment on my posts, because I don't want useless garbage under my content. I want you to only have thoughtful comments that are positive towards the advice that I'm telling you to do.
Value added is what I'm about to post an excuse? Am I trying to validate how busy I am? Or am I taking ownership of my business? All right. That's so important, is that if we want to be true, successful entrepreneurs, we have to take ownership of our business, and we have to lean in to the advice that other people who have paved the road before you are giving, and decide whether or not it fits into your goals, your vision, where you want to go with your business, and then you choose whether or not you want to take that advice and use it, or you want to kind of chuck it to the side and move on.
Did you say earlier that she's upset that people don't take her advice, and now she's saying as a business owner you can look at pieces of advice that high-up coaches give you and then decide if you want to use it or not? I think she said that earlier, so I'm confused. Do you want us to take all of your advice at face value, Melanie, or do you want us to critically analyze the advice, see if it applies to us, and then decide?
All right. So everything that I have ever figured out, from how much to pay an assistant and how to manage like the person and cleaning ladies and all of that, I have gone to good old friend Google. I have asked friends in my neighborhood, anybody have a recommendation for a cleaning lady? Right? I have gone to community forums and asked, for cleaning lady suggestions, or, babysitters, all of that stuff. You just have to ask. So,
not everyone works like that. Like, not everyone is, how do I phrase this? Not everyone is like an independent worker and knows to just do their own research. A lot of people need guidance while trying to figure out new things. And you could say like, oh, when I was looking for an assistant, this is the board that I went to. This is the Facebook page that I posted my posting on. This is how I found my assistant. This is how I trained them. Not everyone can work in the way of like, just go find the answer yourself and figure it out. A lot of people need more guidance and mentorship when trying to figure out new things. Does that make sense?
Bottom line, if you want to be successful, stop just collecting advice from
If you want to be successful, hire a cleaning lady, hire an assistant, hire a babysitter.
People, and start taking advice and putting it into action.
She just said to critically analyze the advice and then decide if we want to take it. And now she's saying, if you want to be successful, just take everyone's advice and put it into action. Which one is it?
If you have been saying that you need to get an assistant for the past couple of months or even the past 3 weeks and you still haven't put up a post to hire somebody, that's on you. That's your fault. You're losing ground in your business every day by not asking for help. And it can be help in any way, shape, or form. Assistant, babysitter, nanny, house cleaner, whatever it needs to be. Ask for the help. Get yourself a planner, and you don't even have to go out and get a fancy system. Google is free. Google Calendar, free, right? Didn't pay a dime for it. You can color block it. I have good old sheets of notebook paper that my to-do list is written on. But here's the thing. No more excuses, guys. You've got to take ownership. It's a choice every single day to choose where you want to go and what direction. Are we going to live in the excuses? Are we going to live in the what ifs? Or are we going to live each life as if it's each day as if it's our last? And at the end of every day, we have to be able to say, I couldn't have given it a fingernail more. I'm learning, I'm growing in leadership and mindset.
She's saying don't validate your excuses for not being successful, but what might be just a minor little glitch in her day for her might be a really major thing in someone else's life. And everyone has like different characteristics, different mental health status struggles, different physical health issues. They have different environments at home. Maybe one coach's children are higher needs. Maybe someone has a child with special needs or behavioral challenges, and they might need lots and lots of attention. And in that case, if there's a child with high needs, you might not feel comfortable just hiring a babysitter off of a message board. You might want to put a lot of time and effort into finding the right babysitter with the right experiences who can support your child. Do you know what I mean? So to her, something that might just be a minor excuse might be something major to someone else on her team.
And I'm inspiring other people along the way. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I hope this was helpful. I hope that if anything, you start to become so crystal clear when you're giving excuses, so crystal clear, right? That you learn to stop yourself and then you learn to take action. We are all busy.
That's also a toxic positivity thing. If you're giving an excuse for not doing your work and say it's something that really affected you emotionally, you stop your negative thoughts in its track, and then you continue with positive thoughts, and you just push the negativity down.
All of us are so busy, same 24 hours in the day, right? I wake up every morning, and there are about 10 million things I could think of that I could give as an excuse. Yesterday, I had like a ridiculous migraine.
That's not an excuse. You felt sick. Anyone else in like a 9-to-5 job, most of those jobs have at least a little bit of paid time off. If you have a horrible migraine, stay home and sleep.
Right? Not an excuse. Sat down, did the most important activities in my business yesterday. Did I do all of the things? No. If I had to take a little rest, but I didn't make an excuse. I showed up. I did my yoga. I did my meditation. You know, my kids, they were wild and crazy last night. They were fighting. I didn't go into the pantry and emotionally eat. It was a choice. Everything in our lives is a choice.
So if someone was struggling with their mental health one day and they went into the pantry and did emotional eating, is that their choice? So are you saying that anyone who is has mental health struggles, is that a choice for them to have a mental health struggle? Anyone who's struggling to get out of bed, is that a choice that they're struggling to get out of bed? I don't like that, because there are aspects of our mental health and well-being that are out of our control, which is why people go to therapists and psychiatrists to figure out how to be as mentally healthy as possible. And if someone is emotionally eating in the pantry, it might just be they had a bad day and they want some good food, or there might be a deeper reason as to why they're doing that, and they might need some help to overcome it. It is not a choice, Melanie. That's a very, very toxic mindset.
And you have the same ability to have discipline and willpower and consistency as I do.
Not true, because everyone is different. Everyone has different brain chemistry. Everyone has different personalities and different histories, different backgrounds, different relationships, and everyone handles situations in completely unique and different ways.
It is a choice, all right? And
nope.
What we practice repeatedly over time are the habits that we will adopt in our day.
Nope, that's not true. It's not a choice, Melanie. Everyone's different. What do you think about this? I just thought it was so interesting. She's telling us the only way to be successful is to hire all these people, even though when you are when you're recruited into Beachbody, you're told that you can run a business, you can be a present stay-at-home parent all at the same time. And then when you're in, it's all of a sudden you need to hire help because, like, why would you think you can do this all by yourself? Don't you feel guilty that you're not being a present parent because you're doing your business? That's just one of the many, many contradictions that exist within multi-level marketing. What do you think about this? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic down below, and whether or not you agree with me that this whole conversation is just stripping and privilege. You don't need a certain level of income to hire an assistant. Well, Melanie, where is this money coming from? I'd love to know, where it's just going to magically appear into my bank account. Anyway, that's all I have for today, and I'd love to hear what you think below. Bye.